Hello and welcome to the Happy Families podcast. A brand new study has just been published in the very prestigious journal Pediatrics last month. It followed 10,000 12-year-olds and it gives us some insight into the question of the moment. Every time it's the new year, people start saying, how old should my kids be before they get a smartphone? Well, the stats showed some alarming things. If your child under 12 has a smartphone, they're more likely to have depression, obesity, insufficient sleep. Basically, the earlier kids get smartphones, the worse the outcomes. Kids who got smartphones during their 12th year had 57% higher odds of clinical level mental health problems by the age of 13. Translation, getting your child a smartphone in early adolescence is a health risk factor. Full stop. Today on the Happy Families podcast, we answer the question, when should you get your child a smartphone? Because it's when everyone's thinking about it. Start of the year. Stay with us. Answers next. Hello, welcome to the Happy Families podcast, where you get real parenting solutions every single day. This is Australia's most downloaded parenting podcast. We are Justin and Kylie Coulson, parents of 6 kids. Kylie, we've been through this question. We're going through it for the 6th time with our 6th child. She's 11, turning 12.
So much pressure. It's the iPad, it's the phone, it's just some kind of screen.
Any kind of screen.
Dealing with it daily. Relentless energy.
Oh, like
the
so
same.
much energy. So much energy.
Everybody's heard it. Everyone else has one. I need it for safety. What if there's an emergency? I'll be left out. I can't contact my friends.
Everyone else has
and
one.
sometimes we start thinking, well, it would make logistics a little bit easier. And maybe I'm just being a little bit too unreasonable.
Okay.
Maybe I'm being stricter than I need to be.
I'm going to jump in on that point. I mean, we've been through it, as is obvious from your comments, but you're not being unreasonable. As a parent raising a tween or even an early teen, when your children start to hassle for a smartphone, and there's this general idea that's sort of permeated the culture that once the kids are into year 7, starting high school, that seems to just be the time, right? They're catching public transport or they've got this newfound level of independence.
Well, it kind of feels like a coming of age thing, right?
Yes.
They're 12. They're a tween.
Yeah, about to be a teenager. And it's seeped into the culture, and I just think it's a terrible idea. So before you hand over a smartphone, I think that the most important thing to do is to get really specific about the core question that you're trying to solve.
I really love this because in the early days, we didn't do that.
No, greatest mistakes we've ever made revolve around when we gave our kids smartphones. And I mean, voice of experience plus the voice of research here. When I talk to parents about why they're giving the kids a smartphone, like what is the core problem you're trying to solve, the number one thing that comes up every time, have a guess?
Safety.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I just want to know where they are. I want to know they're okay because now they're much more mobile. They're on their bikes or their skateboards or their e-bikes or whatever. Just need to know where they are.
So I kind of cringe when I hear it.
Yeah.
A little bit because I do. I feel the same way. Like when our kids leave the house, I kind of want to know where they are.
Well, your heart has just gone for a wander with them, right?
That's right. But also the idea that we're teaching our kids that without a phone, they're not safe. Doesn't make sense to me because no matter where they are, it's not like we're dropping them off somewhere where they're going to be surrounded by danger? Like there's always safe people everywhere that are willing and able to help
if you get stuck
in any given situation.
Totally.
You miss your bus. There's somebody waiting at the bus stop. You get left behind after training. Your teacher's there. Like there's always someone.
Yeah. And we need our kids to actually believe that the world is safe. So safety is the number one. There are a couple of others as well. Logistics, like what if I forget? What if my child needs to be picked up? There's just that sort of stuff.
Were you ever forgotten?
Yeah. I was. My favourite one, Mum dropped me off at the doctor and she said, I'll come and pick you up in, I don't know, an hour or 45 minutes or whatever it was. I think I was 11 or 12 and finished at the doctor, walked outside. No sign of Mum. I waited for about 40 minutes. Like I waited a long time and then I just decided to walk. I reckon it was probably 3 or 4 Ks. And I was 500 metres from being back where Mum was. Mum was at work and I was walking to her workplace and Mum's car tearing around the corner like she's realised she'd rung the surgery, realised that I wasn't there, and she's like, "Oh no, where's Justin?" And in my
you're
mind,
still here to tell the tale.
And in my 11-year-old brain, I was thinking, which way would Mum drive to pick me up? So I just walked back that way, and sure enough, she found me. I was okay.
Well, I'm really proud to say that I have never forgotten our children.
Oh,
Not one of them has a story to
I
tell.
reckon you have forgotten every one of our children at some
Sure
point.
have so many times.
Yeah, perfect parenting. What else have we got? So the two big ones are safety and logistics, and they're kind of interlinked. I want to talk about each of those in a sec, but there's two others that come up a lot as well. The social connection side of things, making sure the kids don't miss out and they get to talk to their friends. And also this idea that, well, we need to give the kids a device because they're going to have one eventually, so they might as well just learn how to manage themselves now. They're the things that come up. So let me spend like 30 seconds on each. Feel free to jump in, but I want to dismantle each of those arguments, if I may. First off, when it comes to safety, if you are really worried about safety, I'm so sorry that that's the case because the world is generally safe for our children, especially in Australia. The data bear it out. But nevertheless, if you are that worried about it, I'm going to say this. Your 12-year-old does not need full internet access and a smartphone for an emergency. What they need is a dumb phone. Kids don't need smartphones. They need smart parents, and smart parents give their kids dumb phones. Dumb phones exist. They're cheap. They work. And a basic phone will solve the safety issue. They don't need a smartphone. When it comes to logistics and coordinating things, as you've already said, kids will be okay if you're running late and they'll figure something out or they'll ask somebody to call their parents because they don't have a phone.
I think having a really clear backup plan. Like if you don't show up, what's the backup plan?
Yeah, like that's one conversation once every 6 months and the kids will be across that.
You know, if mum forgets you, it's a 3K walk. Start walking.
Just walk and walk.
And that was
this way.
my mum's. That was literally actually what my mum would say.
Yeah, right.
If I'm not there when you get there, start walking and I'll pick you up along the way.
Yeah, this is the way. Yep.
Yeah.
I've got two solutions for it. Number one, have a scheduled pickup time. Like, I will meet you at this place at this time. It's worked for decades, if not centuries, right? This is what parents have done throughout all of history until recently.
And kids have been forgotten and they've made it home.
Yeah. I mean, I know that someone in their mind right now is going, oh, yeah, but what about? And they're thinking of maybe Daniel Morecambe or another devastating story. The reason those stories stick in our minds is because they are so unusual. They are so unique. They're so unlikely. But the other one that I was going to point to is, and we're not sponsored for this, but the Space Talk Watch. It means that you can message your kids or you can make a quick phone call and the basics are taken care of. So that's what I would say about coordination. Your kids don't need a fully internet-enabled device in their pocket so that you can coordinate with them. When it comes to social connection, I would actually argue that face-to-face friendships matter much more than group chats.
Every time.
And group chats cause more problems.
Every time.
Right? And I mean, okay, quick case in point. Last year, one of our daughters was involved in a friendship drama that happened at school. The group chats went bonkers. We sat down and advised her, counseled with her, suggested that she remove herself from the group chats. It was just agonizing to watch her make the decision to do it. She didn't want to, but eventually she pulled herself out of the group chat. And guess what? The anxiety disappeared. She was a different person within a day because she wasn't constantly checking the group chats. You've got competition, comparison, fear of not being enough, cyberbullying, fear. Just, they don't need it. They don't need it. And the last one about learning to manage it. I mean, the data's clear. Every year you delay, you lower the odds of harm. The adolescent brain just is not equipped for it. So saying, you know what it's like? It's like saying, I want my children to learn how to manage alcohol, so I'm going to start giving my 12-year-old vodka or beer.
When you put it like that, it just makes you feel a bit sick, to be honest.
So after the break, the research-backed position on the correct answer to when to give your child a smartphone, plus our biggest tech mistake and what our standard position on this question actually is. We're back. It's the Happy Families podcast with real parenting solutions every single day.
I have to ask the question, what does the data say here?
There is...
Like, what's the ideal scenario for parents?
So if you asked, as some researchers did from New York University last year, 200 experts around the world on this topic, you would get general agreement that delay is a good way to go. You would not get any consensus at all as to the right age. Because of family circumstances, because of personality attributes of the child, because of different contextual factors. Is your child neurodivergent? Do they have an addictive kind of personality? Are they the kind of person who's totally chill and aren't even going to remember that they've got a phone? Like, all of those factors come into it. But I want to go back to the data that I shared at the top of the pod, just really briefly. Pediatrics is one of the most prestigious journals, peer-reviewed on the planet. Last month, they published a paper that we will link to in the show notes where they followed over 10,000 12-year-olds, and they found that kids who got phones during their 12th year had 57% higher odds of clinical level mental health problems by age 13, 62% higher odds of insufficient sleep, 40% higher odds of obesity, and 31% higher odds of depression. Now, I'm not trying to scaremonger. You asked what the data shows. The data tells us that kids' prefrontal cortexes, which are involved in impulse control and decision-making, don't work particularly well. They're not mature until their mid-20s. And basically every single year that you delay is going to improve the odds. Earlier acquisition of a smartphone equals worse outcomes.
So I wish we had have known all of this back when our eldest was old enough to have a phone. And I look back at the introduction of a mobile phone into her life, and it was the beginning of all the hard that we experienced with her.
Yep.
So,
and then we got it right for the next couple of kids, but then with daughter number 5, like she was 12, grade 7, and we were like, yeah, we've learned some good lessons. She'll be fine. And I think that's actually the biggest parenting mistake of our lives. The drama that has caused.
So, with a lot of experience behind us, the new family standard is when you can afford it and pay for it yourself, it's yours.
And that includes both the device itself and the monthly contract that you have to pay to be on the plan. And so here's why this works. It works because it naturally delays acquisition.
Well, most 12-year-olds can't afford $1,000 for a phone plus a $50 monthly plan.
Yeah, or 30 or whatever it is.
And by the time they can, they usually have a part-time job, they're learning to save, and they're typically around about 15, anywhere from 15 to 17.
So interestingly, that ties in with Lenore Skenazy, the free range, like the author of Free Range Kids and the Let Grow movement. She says once your kids are driving, that's when they can get a phone. Lisa D'Amour, one of the United States' most highly regarded child and adolescent psychologists, says the same thing once kids are driving. And I actually think so as well, because then they can afford it. But that's a point where you kind of do want to be able to check in on them from a safety point of view.
Yeah.
I still think that a dumb phone will do it even at that age. But that's the first reason. It delays acquisition.
But it also teaches them financial responsibility. They learn the value of money. Like if their output of $1,000 or more is their own,
yes,
then it's going to really hurt if they don't treat it well.
And they have to learn how to budget ongoingly because they know they're going to have that monthly plan that they've got to pay for. You know what I like about this as well is it shifts the conversation.
Yeah.
So it's not, can I have a phone? It's, how can I earn money to buy a phone?
So this is going off our script a little bit here, but what do you do with the very, very motivated 12-year-old who manages to save enough money to buy a phone? That's tricky, right?
It is, and that is a bit of a spanner in the works, right? When you can afford it is when you can buy one. I think that you just sit down and say, well, there are some issues around this. So there are certain phones that we're okay with and certain phones we're not, and then you get them to buy a dumb phone and they can start paying the monthly plan. And guess what? As a 12-year-old, no matter how motivated they are, when they're paying $30 a month or $50 a month, at some point they're probably going to say, I don't like paying all of this money when there's a home phone attached to the wall or where there are these other options. I just think generally speaking, they're not going to like it. But what I do like about it regardless is that the motivation shifts from I'm entitled to a phone, I have the right to a phone, to achievement. I want to earn this. I want to be self-sufficient. I want to figure this out. So the other thing that I would say is if you've got a child who is so motivated that they're saving up $1,000+ to buy a phone and they're also paying for a plan and they are 12 or 13 or 14, I think you're going to have other problems and other benefits to having a child who's like that. I think that's generally a good problem to have, not a bad problem to have. And the last thing that I would mention is that it creates built-in consequences. Like if they lose it or if they break it, guess what? I'm not paying for it, kiddo. Like, this is your phone. This is your responsibility. Can't afford the monthly plan. Oh, it looks like the service is going to get suspended. No more parental bailouts. I just think it teaches really good financial literacy. It opens up so many good conversations.
So if your child doesn't have a smartphone yet, Don't get them one. Just don't do it. So set a clear standard for them. When you can pay for it, you can have one. Provide alternatives that solve actual problems. A basic phone for safety. So we've just reinstated the landline in our home.
For safety.
And the kids think it's awesome.
Yep. Love it. I would also say this. If you've got a child who does now have a smartphone because you've, jumped the gun and just thought, oh, no, for safety and for logistics and whatever.
And like us, you're starting to regret the decision.
Like we did with our fifth child, yeah. I would say, number one, don't panic. You have not ruined them yet. But have really clear boundaries. Have conversations with your kids around what those boundaries are. No phones in the bedroom or in the bathroom. No phones during family meals or on car rides unless it's a really long car ride and everyone agrees. Time limits on social media apps. I mean, if they're under 16, they shouldn't be on social media anyway. Time limits on gaming. And look for ways that you can scale it back if you can pull it back. And I think that's kind of it, hun. Like, ultimately, form a pact as parents. Our kids aren't getting smartphones until whatever age you decide. In our case, till you can pay for it. And remember that you're the parent. You actually do get to decide. Nobody's forcing you to go into the shop and buy your children a phone. You do get to decide.
I guess the big question for me is, what's more important, my child's approval right now or their mental health and well-being?
Yeah. Okay. Bottom line, as we wrap this up, later is better. And when they can afford it is a framework that actually works. Thanks so much for listening. The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rullon from Bridge Media. Mim Hammonds provides research, admin, and other support. And if you want more info to make your family happier, check out our socials or visit happyfamilies.com.au.